All right. Looks like we are live. Well, everyone, J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Oh, the year's almost over, folks. We got one more day to go. Let's see, he's here, son. Tomorrow night we'll be doing a year-end wrap-up on just everything. Talking about some of my favorite parts of 2018, favorite events I went to. I didn't go to too many wrestling events, but I went to a few. So we'll talk about, what stuck out for me, the best. Just making sure this is all good here. All right. All right. Jeez Louise. I don't know why it's showing up like that. Okay. Now it looks like it's working. We're going to talk a little bit about the last few episodes of MLW Fusion. We'll cover a little 36 and 37 and the Christmas special that happened in between. And so yeah, let's dive into these, and then we'll talk about some of my in my opinion, were some of the best parts of MLW returning in 2018. All right, so we got Foundation starting off. Brian Pillman Jr. and Davey Boy Smith Jr. versus a very unique team of Tommy Dreamer and Barry Hughes. Holy cow. That Barrington Hughes is a big boy. He really is. Hard Foundation coming out in this one. This one was fun. We've seen Tommy Dreamer going back and forth with this new Hard Foundation a little lately. And dragging Barrington Hughes into it. It's going to be interesting to see if this escalates or not. But with this being another win for the Hart Foundation, you've got to think that the tag team championships are on their mind coming into the new year. I think they're facing them somewhere within the next few weeks. Sure where, but I'm pretty sure it was on one of the last cards that the Hart Foundation faced the Lucha Brothers. So I'm looking forward to that. What do we got next here? Io de la Park, de LA Park versus DJZ. Son of LA Park coming out in here. Assisted to the ring by Selena De La Renta. Man, and that's one thing. I don't watch a lot of AAA stuff from down in Mexico. And so I don't see a lot of, or wherever he performs, a lot of Hijo de LA Park. I've seen a lot of his stuff. This is the only place where I've seen his stuff. And I got to say, the more I see him, the more I'm impressed. Finishing off Jay-Z with a jumping pile driver. Oh, my God, did that look vicious. He's got a hell of a finisher, man. Andrew Everett versus Desmond Xavier. Off Andrew Everett with a corkscrew senton bomb. Wow. Desmond Xavier is going to becoming one of the quick favorites on Impact Wrestling as a part of, one half of the tag team of the Rascals. And they called him a rascal on the show. So I don't know if that's a hint that we're going to the Rascals on MLW as well as Impact Wrestling. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Good match, though, between he and Andrew Everett. And interesting seeing Andrew Everett on here. I think he was also on Ring of Honor recently, from what I remember. So Everett's all over the place lately. Now that I'm sure the door is open to return to Impact Wrestling. He's a former tag team champion, I believe X Division champion. I can't remember how far he got with that. I know he fought for it a few times. Seeing him as quite the heel in this end. Very cocky, very cocky. But like I said, Desmond Xavier coming out with a win here. So we'll see. We'll see where this all goes in the new year. We had a no holds bar, no ropes, finished by knockout or submission only. Simon Gotch versus Filthy Tom Lawler. Filthy Tom finally getting some revenge on Simon, but Simon really it wasn't looking good for Tom Lawler for a while in this match. Simon's really working him over. But then Filthy Tom choked him out. Not a bad match, not a bad fight. Would have liked to see this one go a little long, just because, Tom's been going. Lawler's been going through so much between him and Lowey and fighting off Sami Callihan and all this stuff. I mean, it's been quite the build-up. So I would have liked to see this one go a little bit, but nonetheless, it was a good fight. Something different that I don't think I've ever seen before as far as down all the ropes and whatnot. Pretty unique. Then I watched the Christmas Day special. That was fun. Brody versus PCO. PCO coming out with a win in this one. Choke slamming Brody King on the chairs. A whole pile of chairs set up. Crazy. And now these two are exclusive to Ring of Honor. So this is probably going to be their last appearance in MLW, if I had to take a guess. So, yeah, I don't know if these two are going to be featured anywhere else besides Ring of Honor, if it's exclusive. Maybe PWG. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But, man, PCO doing just some crazy stuff. climbing up to the balcony and doing a swan top off of the balcony down. Well, was supposed to land on top of Brody. Brody King got off the table, and PCO then ends up not like crashing through the but sliding off of it and just smacking on the floor. It looked horrible. Oh my God. PCO's not a spring chicken either. He's like 50 years old. And he's running around like a luchador. It's nuts. It's puts a few other people his age trying to, like, you know, make it in the wrestling business to shame. It really does. He's had in this last year was just a storytell comeback year, if anything. Just nuts. Props to him. And props to Brody King too. I mean, he's only been in the industry for a couple of years now, and he's already signed to Ring of Honor. Matches in MLW as well. Next, we get Ace Austin. This is Myron Reed. We've seen both these guys in, I believe, House of Hardcore and on Impact. These guys are really making the towns, making their way around. Great to see. They're considered, you know, middleweights here. They'd be perfect for the X-Men on Impact, and I'm sure they're going to make their way there somewhere, you know, soon again. Myron Reed coming out with a win in this one. And we get a flag match with MJF. Interesting that he was not brought out with his champion. And I think this is right before he got injured. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. So that they brought him out without his championship, and this is, you know, they're televising this after the fact. Excuse me, my goodness. After the fact that he had to give up his championship because he was injured, and as of last week on TV, or was it the week before? A couple weeks ago, Teddy Hart became the new middleweight MLW champion. But nonetheless, MJF comes out here in a flag match against Puma King. Puma King wins. Puma King with Conan too. That was interesting. What's funny is I've seen Puma King a lot recently in Sammy Guevara vlogs. Those guys over in, was either in Mexico or Japan. I think it was Japan. Don't quote me on that though. But he's been in a bunch of recent ones with Sammy. Funny. He keeps joking about how he's got to put Puma in his vlogs to get more hits or something, because Puma King has a lot more subscribers or something. I don't know. But this was a fun match between MJF and Puma King. Puma King coming out on top, getting that flag. Arya Blake at ringside. That was funny. And then we got the last note here. MLW Fusion episode number 37. We see Simon Gotch again in the $20,000 prize fight, basically an open challenge. And out comes Ace Romero, of all people, to come out and challenge him for that $20K. Wow. And you could pretty much call this a squash match. Ace Romero bounced off the ropes, and it was like a cross between like an L and a crossbody splash. Oh, and just boom, 1, 2, 3. And then he was throwing money in the crowd. It was hilarious. So Simon Gotch finally defeated. Be interesting to see if he does any more of those. I got a feeling he's not going to. People obviously assuming that the money that he was giving away, the stuff that he got from Selena De La Renta and her crew for taking out Filthy Tom. No, he lost it. Ariel Dominguez debuting as part of Team Filthy against Andrew Everett. Talking about him a lot in this episode. Ariel Dominguez coming out with a win in this one. So yeah, Team Filthy changing it up in 2019. It's going to be Tom, Freddie, and now Ariel Dominguez. The guy who is not tall in center, but sure is fun to watch in the ring. He reminds me of a guy who about the same size but slightly better shape than Marco Stunt. Yeah, he's pretty small. Small guy. A lot of fun, though. Then we get just a brutal match. Just a brutal match between the MLW heavyweight champion, Low Key, coming out with a good bunch of people from Selena Renta's crew, versus Conan, coming out of retirement over the course of this past year. And yeah, this wasn't pretty. Conan actually almost almost getting the championship, excuse me. Coming out with the sock full of whatever was in there, trying to knock out Low Key. Low Key was almost knocked out for almost half of this match, but then of course Ricky Martinez jumping in there and attacking Conan. This was just a bloodbath because everyone ended up bloody. And in fact, Low Key ended up getting a weapon of some sort from Selena and ended up shanking in at the end of the match. And then it was stopped by ref stoppage, so no one won. Obviously, he still walks away with his championship, but Conan was just a brutal mess. And no one was around to rescue Conan as well. And they show Pentagon knocked out backstage at the very end. Tom Lawler came out, though, to rescue Conan, come to his aid, make sure he wasn't, really murdered. Busted open and then shanked in his knees. It's horrible. It looked so bad. Obviously he wasn't stabbed, but poor Conan, man. He's been going at it with Selena De La Renta's crew for better part of a year now. And it's going to be interesting to see if this is going to be it now between he and her crew. I mean, I don't know what else he could do. If there's someone he could bring in the new year, maybe. Or maybe he'll represent Roosh. I don't know. But he's thrown everybody at low key. Daga. Phoenix lost. Conan lost. I don't know what else he's going to do. So do we call this that's won the war? I don't know. It's crazy. So let's talk about some of the positive things that I've seen out of MLW in the last year. I'm trying to think when this brand came to the light of day again. I think it was, well, we're in what? Week 37. All right, so it was like for WrestleMania, I believe that it started up again. One great match that I'm inviting you guys to look at that led up to the start of this being on TV again. Hey, Blood Rain's in the chat. What's up? Heard about a Conan shanking. Yeah. Yeah. What happened to Conan? Yeah. Yeah. The end last episode was pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. One of the, well, you know what? As long as we're talking about Conan, let's talk about managers. Let's talk about managers in MLW. Now, Colonel Parker, I don't know a lot about, and we've seen some of his stud stable over the course of this last year with the Dirty Blondes. He also had, who did he have in there? Jake Hagar, Jack Swagger. Got someone else too. Oh, Paro was part of his crew for a while too. They were facing off a lot against Filthy Tom's crew, or Team Filthy, if you will. Colonel Parker from WCW all those years ago. I believe it is. It's not a name that really, I mean, I love classic WCW stuff, but this is one guy I don't remember seeing much of. I'm sure if I saw like older pictures of him as far as who he was affiliated with, it would probably ring a bell, but as far as I know, yes, it is the same. We haven't seen much of him lately. So I don't think just when they're down south more, that he comes around. I don't know. Stokely Hath recently returned, but we haven't seen him come on one yet. I'm still waiting to see who he's going to represent. They made a big deal about him returning, but now Robert Fuller, age 68. That's Colonel Parker. Okay. Fun character to watch. Yeah, same guy. Okay. Stokely I know him more from being in Evolve and the things he's done in there, which I feel were very fun and very significant too. He ran the oh god, what was that stable? Oh no, I can't even think of their names. This is sad. Cannot think of it. But anyways, it'll eventually. But he managed. Oh, Matt. Well, he didn't really manage Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle was part of the crew, and then some people stayed, some people left. Damn it, I keep it. But he did manage some significant people, and I really can't wait to see what Stokely Hathaway does. I'm a little surprised they haven't, done something like right off the bat with him, because he showed up, he was in the audience. He managed an ROH as well. Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that, but okay. They did promos of his burn, but what is he doing? That hasn't been revealed yet, and that was weeks ago. So maybe that'll be something more of a focus New Year. What Stokely Hathaway is going to, bring to the table. Is he going to bring in someone new? That's the thing with MLW. Their roster may, have some rotation to it as far as, people come and going. But a lot of the same ones are still sticking around. They lose a people, they gain a few people. And absolutely no doubt that they're going to bring in more new faces that are going to make a significant difference in this brand. He managed Moose in Ring of Honor. Well, when Moose was in Ring of Honor, he was. Oh no, I'm thinking of someone else. I was thinking Moose was in a tag team. Oh, that was Keith Lee. Keith Lee was with Shane Taylor. That's how that went. Oh my God. The brain's just dying. I know there was a Prince. Moose, Veda Scott, and Stokely Hathaway. I thought that was Prince. What the hell was his name? Prince Yana? Prince Nana? Prince something. I thought that's who that was. But anyways, but yeah, Stokely Hathaway, Parker. Let's talk about Conan. Conan's Prince. I ain't no musician. You're so silly. Conan's had such a significant part in this brand, representing Daga, the Lucha Brothers, most recently Puma, and it's been very fun to watch him. Same but completely separate entity than from what he is on Impact Wrestling. Or in AAA. AAA, he's a major heel. He runs the Mad Crew down there with Kevin Cross and Hoovy and all those guys. Basically, Impact and MLW are like brothers. They share the same toys. They do have similar guys, but what's cool is, I mean, a perfect example is like I was saying, Conan is very different in Impact Wrestling than he is in MLW. And he's even more different in AAA. Sammy is a very different commodity in MLW that he is in Impact Wrestling as well. He even has a different crew as well. He's got Fulton and Leon White. But I don't even know what he calls his crew in MLW. I used to remember. I don't remember now. But I wouldn't be surprised if you see some of those guys show up in Impact Wrestling soon, because Fulton showed up on a house show recently, Twitch show, something. Oh, that Ohio show. Speaking of Sammy, AAW champion. Yeah, I saw that footage on YouTube last night. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I don't know when it's going to hit Power Slam TV, but when it does, I'm going to review it. I'm hoping it's soon. I don't know how stuff gets to Power Slam TV, but that's going to be one of the first things I review come the new year. There'll be a few things I'll be reviewing, as I dive into more stuff. Jordan won a belt somewhere. Progress, I believe. Oh, could be. I heard she won a championship. I didn't hear where. If she was in Europe, then that's a good chance that's where that happened. And that's interesting because I thought Progress was going to become one of the WWE's like feeder camps for talent. That's interesting. Unless Progress isn't one of them. I don't know. A few of them. But anyways. So yeah, Conan's been a great example of something that I've said over the last handful of years that has been drastically missing in the world of professional wrestling, managerial role, the manager role. And the fact that Conan goes out there and just knocks it out of the park every time he's out there. It's just a minute segment, and he'll leave a lasting impression on whatever episode whatever he's doing, whether it be, AAA or this, MLW or Impact. Conan's a great mind in wrestling. He really is. I got a lot of respect for him. He's got to end up at some Hall of Fame someday. I don't know where. In fact, this year I thought was going to be the year that he ended up in the Impact Hall of Fame, but maybe next year. We'll see. And last but not least, and I've talked about her before, so I definitely want to put the exclamation point on this as far as managers and pros in MLW. Selena De La Renta. She has been such a presence and I got to say, she is one who significantly changed my mind as far as her involvement in this this wrestling company, in this brand. When I first saw her come down to the ring with, whoever she was running in whatever match, I first didn't think much of her at all. But the more I watched her, the more I, for lack of better words, I'll say studied her, I started to realize that she is actually very good. Not every manager who goes out there has to, at a point during the match, jump up on the ring apron and help his, whoever he's running, his or her, I'll help them win. Doing something screwy to the other person. Selena De La Renta may have done that a couple times throughout this year, but more often than not, she has been a significant yet silent player at ringside. Her presence at ringside throughout so many matches were just enough to the match. I'd say about 75% of the matches I saw her in, she was just quiet at ringside, but she had that look. She had that look like, I'm here for business. I'm here. My client is going to make a difference. And you're going to pay attention to him. And you're also going to pay to me. But she didn't do much. But like I said, as I learned, she didn't have to. Just her coming made people turn heads and go, oh, man, she's back. Better look out. And I think over the last month or so, she became a little more aggressive in her managing, a little more. I mean, they've really stepped the whole storyline with her and Low Key and the whole crew. And things have really, like, the violence level has stepped up a lot. Backstage segments, in-ring attacks, stuff like that. It's really been building. The manager is a dying art in mainstream wrestling. It is. It is. And I'd love to see more of it, Conan is an Arrow Lucha too. He does have a piece in there. Yeah, they've got a lot of pre-tape stuff. There's still no word as to where Arrow Lucha is going to turn up. Running commercials during Impact Wrestling on Pop TV. Obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, because we haven't seen it Pursuit TV yet, so we don't know what the advertising is going to be like over there. But I think a lot of people are assuming Air Lucha is going to end up on Pop TV because they advertise of it. I haven't seen it or seen it anywhere else. So, excuse me. So yeah, that's one thing that's stood out in this brand has been the managerial role has really stood out significantly, which is just a few players, but it's been significant. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially with Stokely Hathaway and Blighted Management, what he's going to bring. Oh, he's got his own thing on the website now. So yeah, that's one thing I'm going to definitely keep an eye out for as far as who he's going to bring and what's next for him. Can't wait to see. Let's talk about some of my favorites as far as wrestlers on the show. one thing that's been fun is tag team wrestling. I feel like it hasn't stood out maybe as much in this brand than others, but it still has made a significant difference, especially with the likes of the guys like Lucha Brothers, uh, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr., Hart Foundation. I'm looking through the roster here. We've seen like Sammy Callahan's crew make a difference as far as, you know, faction wise. Why am I not seeing Fulton on here? Maybe Fulton's not part of MLW. Maybe he is going to join Impact Wrestling. I don't know. We just saw some unique teams team up recently, like Tommy Dreamer and Barrington Hughes. I'd say more memorable would have been Cotto Brazil and Barrington Hughes. We've seen Aries in the chat. What's up? Can't believe Google muted my last message. I poured my heart out in that message. What did you say? Where did it? Was it something on one of my videos? Dreamer does everyone's show. He works with a lot of different people. He does. And that's so great to see. I respect Dreamer so much, man. He's worked with so many companies and have helped so many people. We saw him on Underground, Impact Wrestling, MLW, his own company, House of Hardcore. Like 5 minutes ago on this video chat. It never even popped up, dude. That's weird. Usually when it censors something, it just tells me it you know, I flagged you because you, like, you know, cursed or something. I didn't see anything. It's crazy. Gotta love YouTube. He does small indies. Yeah, Tommy's all over the place. God bless him. He is legit one of the hardest working guys. So embarrassed last night. Bet I farted on my girlfriend's leg. You a bad boyfriend. Oh my God. Andre, you're such a goof. No, it doesn't make you a bad boyfriend. That makes you a very flatulent boyfriend. Dude, all right, I'm going to be very transparent for a minute. If my wife was standing here right now, the stories she could tell you, dude. Lay off the beans, Andre. Dude, there are times when I get up in the morning and I'm alone and my wife is downstairs, already made coffee or whatever, and she's just giving me that look. And I'm like, what? What's the matter? What did I do? And she'll say something like, you stunk me out of bed, you know, like I farted in my sleep or whatever. That's just that's one of those things you look back later and you just laugh. You just laugh, dude. It's all love, man. It's, you know, as long as you don't shit the bed, it's all good. But yeah, man, guilty. Totally guilty over here. You got nothing to worry about. Hell, my ex woke me up out of a dead sleep. Choked, almost choked and passed the hell back out. You want to talk about horrible. Whew. But yeah, I'm guilty of that myself, so you got nothing to worry about. But anyways, enough about flatulence. Love you, Andre. You're such a goof. Tootin' a tune in the morning. Hell yeah. Oh, and my son, horrible. Oh my God. Son is horrible. Talk about a chip off the old block. Good morning, how are you? He'll answer me in a fart. You know, it's like crazy. You back, Andre. That'll be called love. Yeah. You ever heard of a Dutch oven? She'll get you back, Andre. All right, back to the shoe. Let's see. I'm trying to think of. Oh, I know there's here we go. The Dirty Blondes. I've enjoyed the Dirty Blondes as far as tag teaming. We started out the year with Jimmy Uta versus Jimmy Uta and Jason Cade were a team. Oh, my nose is driving me nuts. I'm sorry. Jimmy Uta and Jason Cade started out as a tag team, and then that grew into a rivalry. Who else have we seen? We've seen a lot of tag teams in here. More than I think about it. There's more. Here's the Samoans, the Anoa'i family, Lance and Samu. Heard something about 7 in a hospital. Not sure why. So we may not see that tag team, unfortunately. Filthy. We haven't seen much of them working together much just because Fred Yehi has been... Why is Fred Yehi not on here? There he is. Oh my God, I'm blind. Fred Yehi did a tour in Japan, so he hasn't been around much on TV, but we'll see him more, I believe, in 2019. But Ariel Dominguez and Fred Yehi should make it an interesting team. We'll see. Los Parks, we've seen a lot of them. L.A. Park and his son. Hijo de Park. Anyone else? I don't think I've seen anyone else significant as far as tag teams, but singles dominated rivalries and matches in the world of this. IP says MLW is taking over. Well, I don't know if they're taking over, but they are making a significant statement in 2018. Kurt Bauer, I know, is not everyone's cup of tea. I realize that. I hear things, people say, oh, I hate Kurt Bauer or whatever. But he's building a brand. And I got to say, out of all the stuff that I've watched this year, and I missed like the first maybe dozen episodes of this show, and I want to go back and just watch them for the sake of watching them. I got to say this, I would put this as far as consistently, good wrestling and decent matches. It's been a good comeback year for MLW. I would say it's been a brand that I've really started paying attention to again. Why people hate Kurt? I don't know. I've heard things like, I don't know. like I've heard stuff over the course of this last year. I think it's just because he's making such a, pardon the pun, impact on the world of wrestling with this, you know, new TV deal, and boom, W's back. I mean, they're really making an aggressive statement in the wrestling. Consistent touring, great wrestling, good rivalries, and they've got some significant play on their show. Missed a few things here. Let's look at the chat, and then I'll go back into the show here. It's okay, Andre. My least favorite strongly booked superstar in MLW is Filthy Tom. That does not look like a star. Let's talk about him for a second, because I understand what you're saying. I kind of I kind of felt the same way when I first started watching this brand, because this is the only place I've seen him. I have not seen Kurt. I I have not seen Tom Lawler anywhere else. The way I see Lawler is all right, just making sure everything's still good. The way I see Tom is I kind of look at him like very similar to Daniel Bryan, okay? Like he's got some just legit grappling skills. Now I know he's an MMA guy, and I don't know. I've never seen any of his MMA fights. All I know is that he does do it. I don't watch a lot of UFC and Bellator, and it's just not my cup of tea. The way I've seen those kind of real wrestling companies go downhill in the last few years, I've pretty much lost all interest. You know, I paid attention when CM Punk started making a little, you know, there as far as attention, and Lesnar, but beyond that, I really had no. Tom, I look at him and bigger version of Chris Sabin is talented. You know, I'll be very curious. I'll say this about Tom. They're putting a lot into him. So I think if you keep watching, maybe they'll change your mind. I can really say about him, you know, as far as, you know, I'm still learning about a lot of these guys, because this is like the first year I've seen like half of this roster like ever. Like guys like Barrington Hughes, I've never seen him before. The guy's huge. But he's fun to watch. You know, he's got a lot of charisma. And you know, when they're bringing guys in like Ace Ramo, who I've come to know over the course of the last couple of years, working in House of Hardcore and stuff like that. I know put these two in a match recently. I can't wait to see it. I really can't wait to see it. It's censored. Oh, it's. Can you shout out my YouTube's channel? I'm barely starting. Well, here's your shout out, dude. Here's your shout out. I don't know what you cover, but thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. If you're a fan of MLW, stick around. We're talking about some of the best of stuff, but yes, here is your shout out. You know, let me know what you talk about, you know. He's known Jeff Farmer. What? Andre says the new Heart Foundation is the best thing on MLW. It's doing a good job there too. As MJF is, yeah, as well, yeah. Oh, yeah. MJF is one of my favorite there. Oh, Bill Blake, yeah, she's cute too. I didn't talk about her much as far as being a manager because she hasn't really done much significance on the show as like Selena or Conan, but we'll see what she does in the new year. Maybe she'll become more of a significant player. I have 2 pictures with Teddy Hart. That's pretty awesome. Stopping by DPW the other day, J-Bone. It's good to see you comment. DPW. Is that something on? Oh, yeah. Jason and that crew. DPW. Can't think of what they call it. God, I'm just brain farting all over the place. I really need to stop drinking. It's horrible. Oh, wait, it's not Thirsty Thursday. I shouldn't be drinking. Whatever. Yeah, I've been meaning to get on DW.com and check out the discussion board and other stuff. Had a little quick conversation with Jason. Speaking of websites, please go check out wrestlingwithwrestling.com. Andre Corbeil is in over there. Runs a very good ship. I'm proud to be a part of it. You'll see if you don't catch all of this live, you can catch this after the fact. The replay will be on wrestlingwithwrestling.com. It's unfortunately one of the few things I've been sticking on there lately. Sorry, Andre. I will try to put more on there in the new year. So I haven't been sold on MJ. Just don't see what people like about him. Let's talk discussion pro wrestling. Yes. Let's talk about MJF. MJF is one of the hottest growing commodities in the world of professional wrestling. He's been in CZW. He's been a champ there. He's been an up and coming guy in the world of House of Horror. I'd be he's a guy that will end up someday in the WWE. Okay? I can guarantee it. As much as WWE is not my cup of tea, but if you're a professional wrestler and your goal is to go there someday, God bless you. That's awesome. I hope you make it. I hope you have success. I look at MJF and I legit feel like he is the next Miz or someone like that. And I'm not talking about, if you look at someone like The Miz and where he's come, and, he's had a long, storied career in the WWE. Started out as a hack. Everyone hated him because he was some like big ego on MTV that didn't amount to crap. And he has bought his ass like none other in the industry and has earned the love and respect. I got to meet him this year. I'll talk a little about that tomorrow night when I'm talking about highlights of 2018. I may not watch the WWE right now, but I love The Miz. Okay? This is one of the best out there. And I look at MJF, and MJF has not been around very long. He's only been around for a couple of tops, maybe 3 now. I look at him, and he may be the best in the ring. He does some good shit. Okay, for example, the Puma King match is a great example, very small example, but a good example of how good MJF is in the ring. Now you put a mic in MJF's hand, you'll take a couple steps back. You'll be like, damn, he's good. I mean, he's good with a capital G. He's very good. He puts so many. I mean, there are people in the industry that have been around for 10 plus years and don't even sound half as good as MJF. Take a look at some of the stuff that MJF has done in Evolve. Go to like the YouTube channel and go look at some of this promo there. What's funny is he Facebook friended me out of nowhere. I'm like, who is this guy? And then I started realizing who he was. And I've had a few opinions of him over the course of this year. He's followed me and unfollowed me on Twitter like 3 times. And so it finally got to the point where, like, okay, I'm over it. I haven't connected with him on Facebook. Maybe one goal I'll try to do in the new year is maybe connect with him on Facebook and try to do an interview with him. The thing is, he's so over the top heelish. It's like the entire interview would be a pro. And I wouldn't want that to happen. I'd want a legit interview, but we'll see. Yeah, very unique, though. All ego, all attitude. I love him. I love him. He's a great middleweight champ. It's a shame that he had to give up his championship. But as soon as he's healed up, he's going to do great things. I have absolutely no doubt. Certainly one of the highlights of MLW this comeback year. Go back to the chat for a second. They don't deserve it. More to Jericho. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Better be careful, MJ, all of us. Yeah, okay. We have a better champion in Teddy Hart now. Teddy Hart is going to be a great champion. I'm so happy for Teddy. Let's talk about this for a bit. Moldy spaghetti sauce? What? Oh, you guys. Too funny. This new Heart Foundation in MLW, a lot of pride and stock in this. That's why they made him middleweight champion. He is someone that has. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know everything about Teddy Hart. This has been my learning year for Teddy Hart. I know he's got a lot of country surrounding him because things he's screwed up in the past, but I know, people hate him because of his past. But I do know that he's damn good in the ring. People who can't stand him will still tell you, I don't even want to talk to the guy, but the guy is one of the best in the ring. I'll tell you that. I've seen that. Has a wild side, but it seems to be solid. We really don't think he has much of a wild side anymore. He may still have a mouth on him as far as cutting a promo and just letting words fly, but smoke anymore. From what I heard in a recent interview, he's toned down his lifestyle a lot. Brief stint in jail over the course of the last few years or whatever it was he did, really up. There's people that end up in jail over a dozen times in their life and they still don't straighten out. Incredible. Perfect example. The guy's been screwing up left and right. I still respect the guy. I hope he's straightened, but his story is so sad lately. But Teddy Hart, and kind of being, I kind of look at Teddy Hart as being kind of leader of this new Hart Foundation. Teddy will never change, though. Trust me. Oh, I'm sure. But Teddy Hart and Davey Boy Smith Jr. put a new face to a new generation watching this new Hart Foundation, taking Jr. under their wing in MLW has been one of the most fun things that I've witnessed in this brand in 2018. That's another thing that I've missed out on significantly in the 90s was Brian Pillman Jr. I hear so many things about he was. I need to do my due diligence as a wrestling fan, as certainly a matured wrestling fan like myself who's been around a while, an old fart like myself, and go look at some of his older stuff, and not just his wacky ass promos. I've seen a few of those, but his talent and watching Brian Pillman Jr. This year has been a fun year for him. I'm injured for a while. I noticed he's had a leg brace on here and there, but seeing him walk along these two, Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Teddy Hart, has been so much fun. They whacked Kevin Sullivan. I think that was a major step for this group, taking out a guy like him. Yes, you are, Andre. That is something. Rest in peace, Dynamite Kid. Yes. I'm sure this has not been. And I don't know how much the Hart family to Teddy Hart and or respects this new Hart Foundation. hear Bret Hart's opinion on what they're doing in MLW. I like it. I like it. I respect it. I think it's good. Teddy still smokes nonstop. He interviewed that he doesn't smoke anymore. Or wait, did he say he doesn't drink anymore? He said he doesn't do something. It was the I think it was the Chris Van Vliet interview, or it was something. I watched so much shit. I remember. You actually smoked with him a few times. Nice, Andre. Nice. Yeah. And I know Davey Boy Smith has been just on fire ever since he was WWE. He's been putting time in Japan. He's been back around the States a little more often this past year. Haven't seen him quite as much with Lance Archer, but I think Lance Archer was injured for a while. So I was surprised when I saw Davey Boy Jr. in this brand without Lance Archer, because every place I've seen Davey Boy Smith Jr. around everywhere and anywhere, especially Lance was with him. Lance had surgery last year. Yeah. Yeah, I think like leg surgery, ACL surgery, something. Both were in Suzuki Gun. Yeah. Like early 2017. The what is that day after Wrestle Kingdom? The big New Year's whatever. It's something always significant happens the day after Wrestle Kingdom. It's kind of like the Monday Night Raw after Wrestle. Something big always happens. 2017, I believe that's when Suzuki Gun or Gun, whatever, came back to New Japan and shot, and Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Archer showed up. Your stash, yes, thank you. That's what it is. Yeah. And that was the big thing of last year. They came in, they attacked the group Chaos, I think. Something like that. Just reading the last thing from Andre here. Glory to their family's name back. Important wrestling storylines. Yeah, it is. I mean, this is, like I said, that's one of the most fun things that I like on this year, this comeback year of MLW, is this new Heart Foundation, and taking Brian Pillman Jr. under their wing and watching their stock just grow with every episode that they're a part of. And so yeah, the world of, like I said, and I've said this a million times over the course of this past year, is changing so much, and to see this brand grow, and to see a stable like the new Heart Foundation grow with it, has been so much fun. Let's talk about a few more things, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Let's see. And there's a lot of people that I've seen debut this year that I'm sure in the next year or two we're going to see big things out of, but maybe didn't see much of this year. Like Cotto Brazil. Didn't think much of him when I first started watching this brand. And at the end of this year, I got a lot of respect for him. He's doing some new storyline where he got injured I think Ricky Martinez attacked him or something. Some people were wondering if it was legit or not. I'm pretty sure it's storyline. Sammy Guevara spent a little time in this brand. Sammy Guevara's been all over the place too. Was part of the Impact, the X Cup, MLW, he's AAA Cruiserweight champion. Sammy is really raising his stock this year. Let's see. Who else looking down the roster? We talked about MJF a little. Great to see Fred Yehi on here. Can't wait to see more in the new year. I know he spent some time in Japan. A lot of people are going over to Japan. Oh, man. Guys like Jason, Myron Reed, tremendous. Marco Stunt. Let's talk about Marco Stunt for a minute. Just reading the chat for a second. Desmond is like star. Impact Reed. Yeah, Myron Reed. I mean, there's so many guys out of Ohio that are just going all over the place. And these hardworking kids from Ohio and their stock is just right. Myron and the whole Rascal crew, and it's great. Blood rain. But yeah, Marco Stunt has been featured a lot over the course of the last few months, and now unfortunately is sitting at home with a broken leg during the holidays. He got injured. I think it was a CZW. No, not a CZW. The hell is that company? Joey Janela's company. Or no, it's not his company, but GCW, whatever the company is. I think he got injured in one of those shows. Other shows too. I can't think of it. Whatever. But Marco Stunt, and I watched the show that he debuted on in that brand, and then it was less than a month later he ended up on All In. So I heard a couple things about him. And did it All In, just like blew the roof off the place. Specific people during that first Battle Royal was so much fun. Jordan Grace was such a significant. Brian Cage, Ethan Page was in there, and Marco Stunt getting completely destroyed by Bully Ray. I think a lot of people, Marco Stunt, after seeing him just like die at ringside and keep coming. That was the crazy part. He kept coming back. And then Marco Stunt debut on MLW. He even had a match Ace Romero, for crying out loud. Dear God. He talk about a David and Goliath type match. It's I hope Marco Stunt heals up and comes back. He's going to come back bigger and badder than ever. And that a big heart from a little kid. I mean, shoot, his dad's even on social media. But man, it's amazing what Marco Stunt can do and be such a man of a small stature. You know, kid is something else. And his theme, his entrance theme, is hilarious. It's a rare theme from Sesame Street from the 80s. I actually had to like look it up. It is. It's crazy. Andre, I still got to check out that interview he did with Kevin Sullivan. It's on my to-do list. Oh, does same as China's promotion? Yeah, they got a YouTube channel. I just started subscribing to them recently. I haven't watched a lot of their. It's on my to-do list of my million things I want to check out on YouTube. Blood Rain has a great mind in wrestling. We we have a lot of similar live. Blood Rain keeps coming back, and it's much appreciated. Blood Rain has been one of my consistent watchers on here. Let's see. Oh, talked about MJF. It's gonna be interesting to see what guys like Ace Romero do on here. I can't wait to see Barrington Hughes versus Ace Romero. It may sound like kind of a gimmick match, but two big guys, but man, that's gonna be nuts. Can't wait to see that. Or did that happen already? I don't think it happened. I think that's coming up. Shane Strickland has been one of the guys that really launched the comeback of this brand. Now, there's been a lot of talk about him recently. Chat, what is up? Surprise entrant number 29. What? You're so goofy. Sammy's good, yeah. You tend to do your trolling on Twitter. But yeah, seeing Shane Strickland do really good things out on post in brands like PCW or Defy or one of those. I think it was for you. Really starting to see that come off the ground. Been a significant part of Lucha Underground as Killshot. That's where I first saw Shane Strickland. I saw a lot of my current favorites was the launching of Lucha Underground. The Lucha Brothers, among so many others. Brian, Shane Strickland, one of them. A lot of people assuming that he's going to go to the WWE, but now I'm seeing him booked for a ton of dates in early 2019, booked all the way into like February, March, which tells me he's not going to WWE in the new year. Unless he just booked a ton of stuff right before he's going to NXT. I don't know. But Shane Strickland is one of those guys I would love to see him do a few more indies and just help the indies just blow up. Brands like Shane Strickland, who basically looked like he pulled a CM Punk in this MLW a few weeks ago. So underrated. And I love too. That old Pointer, was that the old Pointer Sisters song? Yeah, I know. I'm a sucker for 80s shit. Or is it Shaka Khan? His Indies theme. Can't think of it. Ain't nobody. Something, I don't know. He is undefeated at MLW. Yeah, they said that recently on one of the last episodes. He's been undefeated at MLW for like forever or something. It's weird. People, that's not nice. Yeah, really. Shaka Khan, yeah. Favorite at MLW, Andre. Really? You know like a Selena? Why you know like a Selena? But like I said, it's taken me throughout the whole year to really start liking and respecting what she does to this brand. Because, like I said, when she started with this, you know, when I really started paying attention to this about a dozen episodes in the new year, she was quiet. She didn't do much. And now over the course of this, she's really starting to become outspoken, cutting more promos and stuff like that. And I think there's a bit of a language barrier thing, but, you know, that's just part of her authenticity. And that's okay. You know? She's in the ring with Conan and those two are going, you know, feeding off of each other. That is when she really shines, I feel. You know? So what else she does in the new year? I think she's going to be a significant player. Low-key has been a hell of a champ. I mean, Low-key is great wherever he goes. Bit of an ego problem. Similar to like Austin Aries. Like maybe he was to happen in Impact Wrestling and things didn't go his way. That's why he left. You know, that's a guess. I don't know. We'll see. Like, who's really impressed me right off the bat is guys like Roosh from Mexico. Man. What the heck? She's okay. But yeah, Low-key is really, I think, out of all the players I've seen Low-key, he's shined the most in this brand. I mean, they really took this brand and put it on Low-key's back. And that's not knocking whoever was champ before him, like Shane Strickland. Like I said, go back and watch like the first like dozen plus episodes of this. He really is, and you know, it's you really got to watch him a bunch of to really kind of get a feel for what he's doing in this. But man, you watch enough episodes of MLW over the course of this past year, see Low Ki in a total different light. You really do. I mean, they give him the opportunity to cut promos, and he looks as authentic can get, as far as straight from him. He's not changing who he is, changing what he sounds like. I mean, he is straight up scary to listen to when he's talking about what he's going to do to you and who he is, represents, and his whole, your perception of him and everything. Man, Low Ki's the shit in this brand. He really is. Father effing Wrestling is in the chat. What is up? Is Ross? Terrible attitude. And Low Ki's good. It's probably, like I said, it's one of those things like Austin Aries. He probably has a big flipping chip on his shoulder because he knows he's good. That sometimes can turn a lot of people off, but they're running with him in this brand, and I dig it. Come February, man, from now, when he has to face Tom Lawler in Philly, oh, dude, they're going to tear the place down. I can't wait. I'm stoked. That has been a 7-month build, and you don't see that much in professional wrestling. Usually it's like, oh, it's up for 2 weeks. Oh, and here's the pay-per-view, and then boom, done. It's like, wow, I really wanted to see more of that. They are building over the course of, like I said, 7 months, and it has been just a slow burn. It's becoming more aggressive stuff between Low Ki and Tom Lawler. But when Tom Lawler won Battle Riot several months ago, that's what that meant. And I don't think Low Ki was champ yet. Shane Strickland was still champ, or someone was. But they didn't pronounce it a lot up until the last, I'd say, month or so ago. It's kind of like walking around with the briefcase, like, hey, when are you going to cash this in? Nothing. Not a word of it, nothing. But when he won Battle Riot, it's like, okay, he was going to do something that none of us knew, like when he was going to cash this in. So that's going to happen in a month. Can't wait to. That's going to be big. Philly, they're going to burn Philly down. That's going to be nuts. You got about Balor. What is the new CM Punk? I'm calling it now. That's an interesting perception of him. That's an interesting perception. I've never heard. That's the first time I've heard that one. Dev it up. Yeah, totally agree with that one, Father. Totally. I feel something. Let me just quick take a glance at the roster again. I don't want to bypass anyone I talked about. I talked about Roosh for a second. Matches. He's only had a couple matches in MLW, but he's already going to headline in the April. They got an April 4th and an April 5th event leading into WrestleMania weekend, and I haven't heard PlayStation nothing yet. But they got 2 back-to-back events. Roosh is going to headline the 4 against LA Park. And apparently this has been a feud that's gone on for years down in Mexico. And they're bringing it to America. And I'm really excited because I never heard nothing about it before. But I've seen what Park has been doing lately in AAA and I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot. And I see Roosh, and he is I look at him, see like a young Alberto El Patron, like very similar attitudes, how they, you know, their charisma, and he just basically looks like a younger, stronger Alberto El Del Rio, if you don't know who that is. But I can't wait to see what Roosh does in this brand. Makes me excited. Callahan has also been a benchmark person in this brand. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Like I said, very different from what he's done in Impact Wrestling. Completely different crew. His OVE crew is not in not in MLW with him at all. It's completely different. He's had Fulton and Leon White. Fulton's not listed in the roster anymore, though. So that makes me think that he's going to go to Impact Wrestling sooner than later. Maybe show up as soon as Homecoming. That'd be great. Because Fulton's been in a few House Impact Wrestling, and they've even hinted that, oh, hey, do you think there's a contract ready for this guy? You know, stuff like that. When who's that? Scott D'Amore? Excuse me. Josh in Ohio or Iowa, or wherever they did that last Twitch show. That got a lot of people looking at it. But yeah, Fulton was a part of that too. I don't think he won, but he had a damn good match. I would love to see Fulton in Impact Wrestling. Old guy manager on some of the. I don't know. Are you talking about with Sami Callihan? That's JT. What's his name? JT something. Davidson something. He's Sammy's hype guy on the road. Has not appeared in any other related shows. I wish Impact would bring him in. He's good. He's damn good. He came to Waukesha when I saw Willie Mack face off against Sami Callihan in House of Hard. In fact, when I got my picture taken with Sami Callihan and I was able to talk to him for a minute, JT Davidson was there. I recognized him, click at first who he was. That's Sammy's hype guy. Manager, whatever you want to call him. I call him more of a hype guy because man, you talk about like hype is an understatement. He looks like he's gonna have a goddamn stroke at ringside. It's crazy. It's nuts. See if there's anything else. No, not Davidson. I can't think of his name. It's the bald guy. What his name is? JT something. You think La Parka Jr. is Phantasma? I think he was in I don't think in MLW. There was talk about when one of the LA Parks showed up during an Impact show, and I don't the authentic one. And that's when I think I heard that one was Phantasma in a mask. Possibly. That, but I don't think he's Phantasma in MLW. I could be wrong, but that's the first I heard about that. I look at that more because I've seen Phantasma. Excuse me, damn. I've seen Phantasma wrestle a lot. I think he's got a than Hijo de la Park does in the ring. I could be wrong though. There's two. Yeah, because well, I know there was a thing between CML, AAA, and probably one trying to bring in one, and when you couldn't bring in one, oh, that's interesting. Okay. He's being Impact Wrestling. The nephew thing. I would love to see MJF in Impact Wrestling. I think he's good enough to be on totally. But yeah, I see what you're saying, Andre. Minus the nephew thing. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he does. MJF doesn't need a big like storyline background with EC3 with the Dixie and all that. MJF is just good as is. Don't get me wrong. I love EC3. I think he do tremendous things in the WWE. At least I hope he does. I think he's got the potential. They haven't done jack shit with him yet. His stuff has been sad at best. But they're streamlining them to the, and that just don't get me started on that. This year for people from NXT to the main roster has just been, in one word, sad. Nothing else you could say about it. It's just fucking sad. Yeah, that's certainly an opinion, Blood Rain. I hope, I mean, as good as EC3 is and the potential he has, I legit hope they do something with him. And I hope he doesn't, because I feel bad for all these guys getting called up to the main roster and they're just sitting. And they're not doing jack shit. I mean, I can't even imagine being on such a high and being brought to the main roster of the WWE and being barely put on like main event because nobody watches that shit. And the only time people are going to, when they, see you, dark matches and shit live TV. It's like, has anybody seen Eric Young within the last 6 months? Probably not. So sad. Not that I've watched, certainly haven't heard anything about him, and he's one guy that's so underrated in my opinion. Grass isn't always greener in the WWE. More horseshit. Company on Teddy and Harry's back. Yeah, I agree with that, Andre. I totally agree with that. You want to build me around a stable like the Hart Foundation? When this year when they first started talking about getting guys under, Brian Pillman Jr. was one of the first ones that they like publicly put out there in their letters saying, hey, we're signing people. And that's so awesome. You know, as long as they stay healthy and stuff like that, just launch. Can't wait. Calling it out. Yeah, maybe Blood Rain. Wouldn't be surprised. I tell you what, I sure wouldn't mind especially back at Impact right now. I mean, I know there's a lot of guys that left over the course of the last couple of years that were mainstays in Impact, but give them a couple of years. You know, they had a little shine in the E to Impact Wrestling, and they would just blow up their roster big time, I think. Man, Battle Riot is going to be awesome in April. Yeah, that's going to be fun. That'll be fun. That's going to be the April 5th show, I think. I don't think, because there's two big shows pre-Mania in April. The one a headlined by Roosh and LA Park, and I think the second one is going to be the 40-man Battle Riot. So that's how it's going to go. Yeah, that's right. You said you met Teddy Hart. I've seen those pictures. That was cool, man. It's cool. May not take EY back there in a youth movement. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're signing a bunch of young guys, but that's they you know, Impact is doing something now. I know I'm sidetracking here, but just bear with me. Impact is banking on their future. They're not going back to, oh man, what legends can we bring in to know? That was like the first dozen or so years of Impact Wrestling. These new guys that are over Impact Wrestling have a completely different vision. Completely. Need to bring in a Kevin Nash or a Scott Hall or an X-Pac or, you know, there's things I like and dislike about Jeff Jarrett, but there's no way in hell you're going to see him back in Impact Wrestling anytime soon. Slap nuts. There's no need for it. Impact Wrestling and brands like MLW about finding the hottest indie guys out there right now, putting them on TV and giving them a chance to launch their careers and better the brand as well. I mean, that's part of this, what I consider is a indie boom right now. The fact that there are all these little brands popping up and start to make some noise. You got Ring Warriors out on the, you know, on the West Coast in Vegas. You got MLW that's going all over the place from New York down to Miami and even over to Chi-Town recently. I expand even more places. That's tremendous for this brand. I mean, they are really all over the place lately. You know, Impact's doing the same thing, and there's just more and more people as like WWE that are, you know, people are just scratching their heads and scratching their asses like, God, why am I watching this? That's why I stopped watching. When I realized that I was watching out of necessity, instead of actually wanting to watch, that's when I turn the channel. And I think people are going to be doing that in the new year. And I'm not even putting AEW in that whole thing yet, because it's a thing, but it's not even a thing yet. It's still in that, it's still in that whisper stage. Works are there. The Being the Elite guys are hinting at stuff, but there isn't, we haven't had that big boom. Here it is. Here it fucking is. Here's the announcement. We haven't had it yet. So that's why I'm not calling it yet. It be a thing over the course of the next 2 years. Absolutely. Apparently they have a Twitter. Hell, I followed it. Just like everyone else is starting to follow it. So yeah, MLW in 2018 has been a lot of fun to watch. A lot of new faces have crossed as far as this brand. Guys like Tom Lawler, Barrington Hughes, to dig into this redemption story of Teddy Hart, the rookie year of Brian Pillman Jr. So many positives of this brand. So many. And, I wanted to take some time while I, kind of wrapped up the last few episodes here. Just take some time and just talk about what a significant difference that I feel this brand has done to independent wrestling. It's been an absolute joy. And like I said, if you're not familiar with a lot of it and are maybe very new, do yourself a favor. Go to the YouTube channel. Go way back to the beginning of it. Go check out the match that the comeback of it. Go watch the Shane Strickland Matt Riddle match. It's tremendous. It was the match that ended a tournament to find the new MLW champ, and so good. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. Tomorrow night I'll do a big year-end special and just talk a little bit about everything over the course of this last year, what I enjoyed, talk about the few events I went to, highlights from that. For that, I don't know if he's completely committed to it yet or not. He might. Wow, we got 7 likes on this. Nice. Thank you, guys. Don't forget, folks, if you're digging the product, smash that like button and smash button and ring that bell for notifications. And baby, it's cold outside. Go look in the description below. We got t-shirts and sweatshirts. We got sweatshirts for sale. Go get yourself a sweatshirt with the sexy Smash This Podcast logo on it. It looks sweet. Merch. What else is going on? There is also a promo going on that I'm trying to promote a lot. The code below is SMASH. What is it again? I keep forgetting what it is. Subscribers for powerslam.tv that I'm going to be doing reviews for in the new year of stuff. And you want a free month of powerslam.tv, smash this free is the promo code. Go check out you some powerslam.tv in the new year. Oh yeah, man, this week of 2019 is going to be just ridiculous. Like you said, this coming Friday. Screen's going haywire. Just adjusting stuff. Sorry. Aim for 10 plus. Always got a number. Hell yeah. Thanks, guys. Wrestle Kingdom, I'll be watching that, and I know it's like at like 2 or 3 in the morning, so I don't know exactly when I'm going to be watching that. I know I've got my kid again too, so trying to like watch all this stuff and do stuff with them is going to be a little hard. So I'm not going to make any promise when I'm going to review this stuff or talk about this stuff or whatever, but I know Kingdom is on the 4th. The NWA thing. Now, I'm a little disheartened because I thought the NWA thing was going to be online. Apparently, it's not. Something you could order, and I was like really excited about it. I can't find anything on it. I thought it was going to be on like Fight TV or something. I can't find anything for it. But the pop-up event for NWA on the 5th looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's got. If I find out that they're going to put it on last minute, I'll talk about it. But if I don't have the chance to watch it, really, I'm going to feel kind of salty talking about it, and I can't even watch it, But that's not that I don't want it to be us either. I just wish we, the fans who want to watch it on the internet or on social media, can see it. And I don't think we're going to be able to, unfortunately. And then, of course, Homecoming is Sunday. For Homecoming, I'm so excited. Between Cage's match with Impact and the Ultimate X match, and that Tage is going to tear the house down. I'm even starting to hear things about this Go Home episode for wrestling that's going to air this Thursday that's going to blow the roof off the place. Some last minute things they're going to put out. I'm telling you, there's got to be a Sammy and Willie Mack thing in there somewhere. It's got to be. I'm calling it, folks. It's got to happen. Sunday we'll come on here. We'll do some New Year's Eve stuff. We'll talk about the best of 2018. I don't think we're going to do it. We'll probably come on here somewhere around 8, 9 o'clock maybe. Go for a couple hours. Have some fun. Like I said, CM Styles might be on. I think he was on here last year. And I think from what I remember, I did way too much talk. Let him talk. That's why I can't drink too much on here. I drink like a couple, and just to kind of feel a little better, and drink a ton on here. I just can't, because I just get stupid then. My body just can't handle it. Getting old. Well, that's interesting. Andre says, none of my Impact sources said any about the AEW thing being a credible story. Yeah, I think it's all bullshit too. So you do it on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm gonna still do one tomorrow night. That'll probably be it. I also want to talk about Ring Warriors a little bit on here. We'll talk about that tomorrow night, maybe a little, because I still got to watch that last episode put on Amazon Prime. WWE title isn't going around any other ways for quite some time, and they want to back the importance and the prestige of that title. Flip-flopping champions will do the opposite of that. Yeah, and I love the fact that WA Women's Champion, that they're actually recognizing that championship. I think that's wonderful. The introduction of Crockett tag team, a new birth of the NWA Tag Team Champions over the course of 2019 is going to be great. Jay Storm, though, is a significant player, and he's never looked better. So the fact that he's facing Nick Aldis at this event, I think that's why I'm surprised it's not being seen anywhere else. I think that's big. Maybe it's just me, but I think James Storm still has a lot of stuff to do in the ring. So I'm very excited for him to face Nick Aldis. Retired. Styles, bring the rum. Dude, that bottle's been empty. I emptied that a long time ago. We'll get a new one for tomorrow night. Oh, shit. Wrong guy to have the title. I know there's a lot of different opinions about Nick Aldis. I think for a guy helping rebuild a brand, I think Nick has done it with prestige. He may not be everyone's cup of tea, but he's had some tremendous matches. He really has. I wish Cody would have hung on to it a little more, but that's obviously not up to him. Put more into the Tim Storm guy. Be a super fan. Yeah, I mean, you look at a guy like Nick Aldis, and he does have a classic swagger about him. He really does. You look at the Clans and Nick Aldis, you know, I would put Nick Aldis next to a classic form of, you know, someone like Flair or Harley Race or whatever. I would. It's a different time now, obviously, but, you know. Well, you know, wrestling was so different back then than it is now. Bachwinkle, that's a name. That goes back before me. And I'm an older fellow. All right, let's wrap this up because we're just talking about all sorts of crazy stuff now. And we'll talk about everything more, even more tomorrow night. We'll talk about a little bit of we'll even talk about a little WWE too, because I went to a very fun event at what is now the defunct Bradley Center in down Milwaukee. That was pre-Mania, and that was a blast. So we'll talk about a little bit of everything. You know, like I said, it may not be my cup of tea, but, you know, I got a lot of guys that I love in that company. I certainly don't wish any ill on any of them. I want them to be successful, you know? So, end of the segment. So, 10 seconds of the 2-hour video. Oh, you guys are ruthless. Love you, though. Love you. So, yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. And if you are going to join me tomorrow night, come in with some ideas of what is your parts of 2018. You know, what was your favorite brand to watch? Who are some of your favorite wrestlers? Favorite match or event that stood out among the rest? You know, we'll talk about a little bit of all of that. You know, what was some of my favorites? One of the favorites were men, women, tag teams, factions, companies, whatever. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about what we want to see here as well. So, all right, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good one. Don't forget to smash that like and smash that sub button. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.